This message is for Christians and Muslims all over the world, but most especially Christians and Muslims in Nigeria. Nigeria is a country where every Sunday millions of people troop to church, and every Friday millions of Muslims troop to the mosques. There are churches on almost every street, and there are mosques everywhere. Almost everyone claims to be close to God in Nigeria. Yet, different kinds of man's inhumanity to his fellow man is taking place every day. Let me begin with the story of this little boy you were saying. In 2016, this little boy was abandoned by his parents somewhere in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, because they were told that he was a witch. Apparently, he was told that he was a witch by a religious group or a religious leader or someone. This little boy was roaming around the place where he was abandoned for 8 months. For a whole 8 months, the boy that you're seeing was roaming around the whole place. This little boy was roaming around the whole place without a roof over his head. He was eating from dustbins. He was abandoned by his mother. He was abandoned by his father. He was abandoned by uncles and aunts. He was abandoned by his cousins and neighbors. He was abandoned by pastors and reverend fathers and Christians. He was abandoned by everyone. A 2-year-old boy. Abandoned by Nigerians. Abandoned by Christians. Abandoned by those who claim that they know God. That is in my country, Nigeria. 2-year-old boy. This little boy would have died if not for the Oyibo lady. For the lady in the picture, when she saw him, she picked him up and started taking care of him till today. She's still taking care of him till today. Now, see the boy today. See the so-called witch. See him now. Can you see? That is the boy that was abandoned by everyone. In my country, Nigeria, a country where everyone claims to be close to God, they abandoned this little boy to die. You see, somebody told them that this boy was a witch. But you know, look at the boy today. They should tell Nigerians to be careful of what some seers tell you. Some people have been told that their mother is a witch or their father is a witch, and they have abandoned them. They have abandoned them. I tell you to beware. Now look at the Oyibo lady. Look at the white lady with tattoo all over. Some Christians in Nigeria will call her names because she has tattoos all over. They will call her an unbeliever. Yet those who call her that name couldn't do the things that she could do. They couldn't do the things that she did. They didn't have the heart of love that she has. In 2022, a young girl named Deborah Samuel, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education in Sokoto State, Nigeria, was killed by some Muslim zealots because they claimed she said something against their religion. While they were beating and stoning her, this lady was pleading, this lady was crying. As she was pleading and begging, they were stoning her. Yeah, she was pleading, yet her pleas met dead hearts. Her cry met compassionless souls. And she died. She died. She died in Nigeria, my country, in 2022. Imagine that in this time and age, someone was killed because she said something against someone's religion. Imagine what a country, Nigeria, my country. Now listen to this. In the area where this little boy was abandoned, there were of course many Christians that they couldn't remember the Bible book of Matthew chapter 22 from verses 37 to 40. Where Jesus says, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind." He said, "This is the first and great commandment." And he said, "The second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." You see, Jesus' command in the Bible is, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. If those who abandoned this little boy were truly following the message of Jesus, they wouldn't have abandoned the little boy to die. Now listen again. If the Muslims who killed Deborah had read and understood one Quranic verse that I read, I'm sure they wouldn't have done what they did. That Quranic verse is in Surah chapter 3 verse 55 to 56. I'm quoting from the Abdallah Yusuf Ali's translation. It says, "Oh Jesus, I will take thee and clear thee of the falsehoods of those who blaspheme. I will make those who follow thee superior to those who reject faith to the day of resurrection. Then shall ye all return unto me, and I will judge between you of the matters wherein ye dispute." Then he says, "As for those who reject faith, I will punish them with a terrible chastisement in this world and in the hereafter, nor will they have anyone to help." That is the Quran, Surah 3, verse 55 to 56. I quoted from the Abdallah Yusuf Ali's translation. If you are using any other Quranic translation, I want you to begin reading from Surah 3, from verse 40 upwards. You surely see this verse in between the lines. Now you see, in the Quran, God is saying that He will make those who follow Jesus superior. Can you beat this message? As far as I'm concerned, to follow Jesus is to follow His message of love. Again, what is the message that Jesus Christ commanded everyone to follow? It is love God and love your neighbor as yourself. I would like Islamic religious leaders to explain this Quranic verse to me. He says, "I will make those who follow Jesus superior. I will make those who follow Jesus superior to those who reject faith." Then he says, "As to those who reject faith, I will punish them with a terrible chastisement in this world and in hereafter, nor will they have anyone to help." That is Allah, as far as I'm concerned, saying that everyone should follow Jesus. And the message of Jesus is simply love God and love your neighbor as yourself. If everyone follows the message of Jesus, our world will not be like this. If those who killed Deborah understood this particular message, I'm sure they would never have killed that innocent soul. Nigerians, it's time to read our Bibles and read our Qurans in the languages that we can understand. Yes, it's time. It's time. Pastors, imams, it's time to preach the message of love. It's time to preach the message of love your neighbor as yourself. Indeed, these killings and man's inhumanity to his fellow man will stop if we all follow the message of Jesus, which is love. Please click the subscribe button and please help us share. Let us share this message of love. We all need it. We all need it all over the world. Love is a message of Jesus. Love is a message of Jesus. Love is a religion of God. May God bless you. Bless Nigeria, my country. And bless Christians and Muslims all over the world. I love you all.